What's up, guys? I am really, really excited. All right, first off, tomorrow my bill resets and I post 100,000 listings in one day to eBay. I can start doing this in roughly 12 hours. So I'm really excited about that. But what I'm potentially even more excited about is the conversation that I just had with an eBay Anchor Store rep. The rep, what happened is every time that I talk to a rep recently, I've been asking if they know of any kind of promotion or any kind of special where you can reduce your insertion fees further than just having an Anchor Store. Because I have an Anchor Store, right? So I pay $300, and that means that I pay 5 cents per listing, okay? And what this rep told me is that there is actually a fourth store that's in the works and is hopefully going to be announced next. Seller kind of, eBay does this kind of selling announcements, right? So either the next one or the one after that, they might talk about this fourth store. And he didn't give me a whole lot of details, but he did tell me that they are testing a store that's even bigger than an Anchor Store. And so you guys can see here, paying for an Anchor Store costs you $300 and you get 10,000 free listings, okay? He was saying that this store, you pay $1,000 and then you get like 100,000 listings or something like that. And I don't know if I can explain to you that even if this is true, what this means for bulk is insane, like absolutely insane. Because if it's true, and if this next store makes it cheaper than 5 cents, imagine that it makes it cheaper than 3 cents, okay? To give you some perspective, let's go over to we're going to go over to my account, and I'm going to go over to my eBay invoices, okay? Going to go click on account, and now we're going to look at these invoices. Okay, so you see here, December I paid eBay $850, November $1,200, October $5,700, September $7,300, August $8,000. These are big numbers, right? Roughly half of each of these bills, more than half sometimes, it's between half and 70% or 60%, is from insertion fees alone. So just to illustrate how drastically my profit would change if eBay releases a new store format, let me do some basic math for you here, okay? So last year, I paid eBay roughly $50,000 in final value fees and insertion fees. Of those $50,000, let's say half of it was insertion fees, when really it's a little bit more than half. That means that I paid roughly $25,000 in insertion fees, okay? If it goes from 5 cents to 3 cents, which is feasible, because if you look at, let's look at something real quick. We're gonna look at the different eBay store subscriptions. eBay store subscriptions. So without a store, you pay 30 cents per listing. If you have a basic store, that goes down to 25 cents. A premium store, 15 cents. Or sorry, I'm looking at the auction categories. Basic store goes down to 20, okay? So it goes from 30 to 20. That's a 30% decrease. Then it goes from 20 to 10. That is a 50% decrease. And then it goes from 10 to 5. That's a 50% decrease. If they were to follow that pattern and apply another decrease, a 50% decrease, that would mean that the amount of profit that I earn doubles basically overnight because of the bulk mentality. And granted, this is, I'm not counting on this happening at all, but it's definitely very comforting knowing that there is something in the works for a bigger store, and the bigger store, maybe it's 4 cents a listing, instead of 2.5 cents. But the bigger store, it's inevitably will have cheaper insertion fees. They wouldn't make a bigger store without making the insertion fees cheaper. There would be no incentive to have a bigger store, right? But the eBay rep was like, yeah, they've been making this a new format specifically for the people who post between like 100,000 and 500,000 items. And he was talking about a store that, you know, you get up to 1 million items, right? So you have a certain amount of insertion fees and it's just gone. Do you guys know what that means for me? Like, whoosh, that is absolutely insane. And I'm not going to count on that happening at all. I'm doing everything I can to make this work the way it is. But if they make insertion fees cheaper, I am set. Like, as long as my account isn't screwed, I don't get like banned for some reason that I don't foresee, I am set. So that's exciting. I just wanted to share a little bit with you about the fact that eBay is working on a 4th store subscription. And to most of you, this isn't going to matter, but those of you who have an anchor store, it's pretty interesting, isn't it? Like, and I know that this is one of those things where this rep told me this, but maybe it's just, I know that it's something that's being talked about because he wouldn't have told me otherwise. You know, they're all like, the recordings are, I mean, the phone calls are recorded and everything like that. But that's pretty crazy, isn't it? That's exciting. Definitely exciting. And so I know that eBay is working on a 4th store subscription. I don't know when it's coming out, but the rep told me that they're aiming to have something out this year and that they've already ran their own test accounts with stores in this format, which is very interesting, right? And like, while on one hand, people look at what I do and they're like, oh, you know, like, I'm just posting tons of items. They're not super likely to sell. You'd think eBay doesn't really like that, but in my experience and talking to eBay reps, guys, I paid eBay $50,000 frickin' dollars last year. I did not earn anywhere near that much money. They benefit from this, right? And I don't know whether it's actually good for the long-term use of their website to have people just posting tens of thousands of listings, you know what I mean? But, wow, this could be big, like really big for the bulk format. I could be, if this happens, I'm in a very, very good position. All right, I just wanted to do that video. Sorry, you can tell I'm a bit scattered because I'm excited. I'm about to post this huge list of items tomorrow. And also, this news that I just got is really exciting because that could mean some very interesting things in the future. Imagine that you're operating a business and you have a $25,000 or a $50,000, $25,000 expense per year, and overnight that expense gets halved. Ooh. Even if it goes down by 5%, 5% of $25,000, you know, that's over $1,000. That's good money. All right, guys, I'll see you next time. Ciao.